Hey everybody, welcome to this week's layout update. I know I said last week there probably wouldn't be one this week, but this is going to be a short one because I have been kind of busy doing some things. If you've been looking at the photos I've been posting, you probably already know what this video is going to be about. But if you don't, there's going to be a surprise. But I'm going to start off over here because I neglected to talk about this last week. So I had some people talk about this stone arch that I'm putting in the back that's just supposed to look like drainage, like a giant drainage culvert type of thing. I was told, make it darker, it'd probably look better. So I went over it with a black and brown wash, and I think it looks pretty decent. I also made a new piece on the top that's green that kind of blends in. Once the track is on here, I will probably put some bushes in front of the rails and maybe paint the rails. Well, I'm going to paint the rails, of course, but they'll be brown, maybe a little bit of green on there, and maybe some more material back here to kind of camouflage the tracks. You'll see the train going by, of course, but for the most part, like in photographs, I want the rails to be semi-invisible, you know what I mean? So I like the way this looks, and we'll start working a little bit more on this. I think the roughed up paint back here looks like bushes and trees and stuff, and I'm happy with this so far. So I'm gonna leave it like this for a little bit, marinate on it some, and go with it from here. So we'll run over here, take a look at what I've been working at over here. Not a whole lot of changes, but a couple. My back is feeling better, so I've been able to bend over a little bit more. I cut this piece out and put it in place. I like the way it's looking. This piece will probably get cut and moved over or up and over to fit in here. And I'm kind of figuring out how I'm going to do this real narrow spot right in this area here. And I want it to look good, so I'm not like rushing it, but at the same time, according to my wife, I'm gonna procrastinate on it for a while and then not do nothing, which is part of my planning process, but she just doesn't understand that. And you can see I got this mock-up mountain over here, and I like the way that's looking. Now, since I cut a whole new piece for the bottom here, which now is just one piece, all this is just one piece. This used to be the bottom piece, but I made it the top one, and as part of the stack. So what I'm gonna end up doing is cutting into the foam a little bit on both sides to make my tunnel portal work, because I was going to put it back further, and I was like, no, I don't want it back further. I want it right back here, or right in this area. And at some point, when I get it fit into place, I will trim all this foam down to match and then put my warehouse in. Now, the warehouse is going to be a little bit close to the mountainside here, but you're just going to have to, use some imagination and just pretend that's not there, because I want it to fit and I want it to be usable, but at the same time, you got to compress your scene and worry about, the scene looking right, not necessarily how will the truck get in and out, because, it's model trains. There's no truck moving to begin with. So as long as you can tell the story and have it look decent, I think it'll be just fine. Once again, I've lost my pointer, so I had to use this one supplied by DeWalt. I don't know where that little wood stick is at with the orange tip. I lose it constantly, but it is what it is. Haven't been working a whole lot over here. I've been really busy with a lot of stuff going on around the house, but I'm kind of on vacation. My clients at the gym are on vacation. My female client, she just ghosted me, up and quit. Told me she got a new job, and we worked out a whole new training schedule, and haven't heard from her since. Stood me up at the gym one day after coordinating with me to meet her at the gym to work out. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the same thing happened to me with a guy a couple weeks ago. I don't think he could handle the workouts that he asked for. And then, so he quit on me as well. And then went around telling everybody we had a falling out. We didn't have a falling out. He quit. But that's okay. That's okay. But I still got one client. He's on vacation, so I'm on vacation. So I need some time away from the gym as well, let my back heal, and everything's working out fine. So the next 2 weeks, everybody's on vacation, so I should be able to work in here a little bit since it's been cooling down. So I'm working on this grade crossing over here. I don't have a name for this street. This is going to be the location of the freight house that you saw in the last video, and it looks really good. I got a new foundation I'm cutting for it today, and it's going to look pretty good, so you'll probably see that next week or the week after. So I still need to cut my flange ways in. I went through with a locomotive with metal wheels, one of my dummies, and I guess, drove it across a little bit, if you could say that, so I can see where I could cut, but I can't find my X-Acto knife because I lose everything for some reason, and to cut that out. So I'll wait for a little bit. I found one. I guess I could just replace the blade. That makes sense. Okay, so back here on the main lines, I took this bridge out. I cut part of it out, and I pushed it back about an inch and a half. So that way there I have room to put some people standing out here, and I still have room underneath for trains to pass. I did not have that finished last week, and I had a guy, the Brandon something, unsubscribe, and he didn't leave me a nasty comment, but it was something along the lines of, once again, no trains running, time for me to unsubscribe. You know, I left him a nasty message right back. I was like, good riddance. Don't give a crap, you know, that you're upset that there's no trains running, because I literally have videos out there called Just Running Trains. I haven't had one for a while, but my short videos are usually trains running. So if you just want to watch trains run, go someplace else. But the point of everything was, I had the bridge out. So how am I supposed to run trains when the bridge is out? And of course, this bridge was out also. So it irritated me, and I talk about this a lot, that if you leave me a nasty comment or something I perceive as a nasty comment, don't expect me to take the high road, because that's not me. I'm gonna go ahead and stoop to the level that the comment equals. Did I say that right? Yeah. So if you leave me a nasty comment, I'm probably gonna say something back to you, nasty, because it started out with, you know, God bless you, peace be with you, have a good life, to, hey man, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care, good riddance. I'm tired of your stupid comments anyway, you know? So be mindful, keep it classy, keep constructive criticism, just that, constructive criticism, and keep positive. This is model trains. There's no reason for anybody to ever be nasty about model trains. My God, we're a bunch of nerds out here playing like we did when we were 10 years old. There's no reason to be nasty or anything. If you have a better layout than me, good for you. This is a work in process that will probably be a work in process until the day I die, or until the day I become sick enough or terminally ill that I tear it all down so my kids don't have to worry about it, or my wife. But just be nice to people. My God, I don't know why people have to be nasty to people to begin with. But the end of that, let's go positive. McClelland Avenue got a lot of attention. All the foundations and concrete work have been glued in. There's a little piece way back here in the corner that I glued that in that you can't see. Like I said, I moved the bridge back an inch and a half and made a new piece right here. But the most visual piece that you see jumping out, added lines. So I screwed up and bought yellow last time, thinking I bought a yellow and a white, but I didn't. It was all yellow. So I had to go back to Mike's Trains in beautiful Thomasville, North Carolina, and buy me some white. So I went by there the other day, spent about $45 on a bunch of stuff, and I was pretty happy that I got out of there that cheap. At some point in the future, I will put a mirror back here to reflect that road that's in front. I think that'll look pretty good. It'll give it a lot of depth. And I got to figure out what I'm going to put as a backdrop back here. I got some buildings that I had up there at one time, like an old Walters, you know, backdrop thing that I cut out. I think that'll look pretty decent. And I'd like some buildings to be over here as well. And then maybe the Green Hill effect that I have going over in that corner. Maybe a lower, you know, hillside or something, you know, maybe right through here. So I had to go to Lynchburg, Virginia yesterday. And yeah, Lynchburg is a beautiful town. I absolutely love it up there. You got the little Civil War era buildings down by the water. You got the CSX down there. You got the old Southern Main Line downtown. The old N&W Depot Union Station down there is now a restaurant. A lot of cool stuff down there. And I just go down there and I just imagine what it was like in the 50s in the heyday, you know. So it's a lot of inspiration. But when you're in the valley, I guess you could call it, by the water, you see how tall all the hills and stuff are. And that's kind of the way I want all this area to look. So I essentially want that green hillside, mountain, whatever, all the way around the room. I think when you stand in the middle of the room and you have that, it will give you the effect of being in a valley with the hills on both sides, and not really hoots and hollers of West Virginia, but something along that line. Plus, you know, when you got the layout, you know, with the view blocks and stuff, I think it'll really give you that feel, and that's what I'm going for. And I think when I paint everything in here the same way, you'll feel like you're in a valley, something like that, like down at the waterfront in Lynchburg type of feeling, where you look around, it's just hills everywhere, and you're at the bottom of all of them, especially this narrow room. And I started here, and you can see where I drew my little line going across, and I've determined that's a little too high. So I will paint that out blue, and I'm gonna paint this one just a little bit lower so that the treetops and some places will be closer to the edge of the top of the hill back here, so it'll be a little lower. So I gotta redo that, but that's the plan, to have that in here in that manner. Now let me go back here and talk about these roads. See how easy I get sidetracked? 2 minutes ago I was complaining about some dude in a comment and unsubscribing, and now I'm back to talking about hills in a room I was in a little while ago. So all these lines, they're stickers. So you got to make sure you got a prepped surface, and then I'm going to go through with some India ink, and then just kind of do the lanes, kind of give it a little bit of a grubby look. I have not worked on this ramp yet, but I like the way it looks. I mean, it's not perfectly smooth, but it'll be fine. Got a couple of lines on there. Got a stop sign, and I like it. So, and I think it was 1953, the government went from yellow stop signs to the red stop signs. So I have some Tichy Group yellow stop signs that will be some places, and then I have some red stop signs that will be some places else, because I'm going to assume that all the stop signs just didn't get changed in 1 year. I mean, millions of them, right? So I have some of those here and there. So when you see those and you say, oh, those aren't period specific, you know, just remember, 1 million or 2 million, 3 million stop signs don't get changed in 1 year. And that's where I got stop signs at. What are they called? Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. That's just part of it. Here's the other thing. So Tennessee Valley Custom Models. I'm really happy with them. I got some, railroad crossing signs as well. I believe these are metal, and this is just, I think this wood or plastic, but I like them a lot. And then the road stripes are, what are they? Highways and Byways Model Railroad Graphics. So highways and byways.net. Look at that email address. There you go, or website address. And they're tedious to put on. It's kind of a pain. Hang on a second. Having issues. There we go. Oh my God. All I'm trying to do is put the stuff down. Okay. The lines are a little bit of pain. The static electricity in the air will cause them to stick to your fingers a lot. So I use tweezers and a hobby knife to put them in place. When you have them down, don't just rub your finger across them, because they're not really stuck down. So don't rub like this, just tap them. That's what I learned after some of the crooked lines that are here. So I also looked at a lot of pictures, and I may have some of this wrong, but it looks good enough for me. I'm pretty sure that this stripe on the side should not be there, and like I did right here, but hey, things happen. So I didn't go all the way to the railroad crossing back here, because I'm not quite sure what's going to go there. I need to build all that stuff, and I'm not gonna do a whole lot of work on there till I ballast back here anyway. So, but I'm really happy with the way this is looking, and I know I say that a lot, but if I wasn't happy with it, you wouldn't see it in the video. I also went through and I mocked up this park here. Somebody made the suggestion of, I think it was Charlie, Mortis Charlie, something like that. He talked about park benches and stuff, and so what I decided was I'm gonna shorten up my hedges, put a park bench on each side. I got some dudes in there talking and stuff. Good race relations going on my model railroad. And this will be a fountain. This is going to be painted concrete, and I'll probably put a little epoxy in there. I like to take some cotton and somehow make it look like there's a like a fountain, like a middle or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. And once again, I got my birch trees in place on each end, and I like it. So this is really coming around. And I like this so well that I may not even replace the buildings back here, because this was just a mock-up of a town, and just had buildings there in place to take some pictures, and I'm liking the way it looks. Greenwood Hotel, this will get redone. I think I have a couple of these kits laying around, so I'll probably put them together and just, make a couple of different, like, facade changes on the front and just have them all about the same like that. But you can tell that these are not, I don't think they're HO scale. The Walther's kit here is probably more HO scale, and you can see this is 2-story versus 3-story. So maybe I need to make them match a little better. So visually it looks better, but we'll see. We'll see. I've also went through and installed a bunch of in-scale turnouts. I use in-scale because they're smaller, of course, and I think they look better. The HO scale just don't look right, even though I got a bunch of them, but I made that determination after a while. The powerhouse leads and switches got a couple of in-scale turnouts as well, as did the mainline switch over here. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is the belt line. It used to be an interurban route that is now freight only. So I have some poles that are going to go up that look like catenary poles and stuff. But this was the original main line, and this was just a track to the interchange yard. So now this is the main line, and this old main line is just at the old main line with the freight house, the old depot freight house, and then it will come up and go over this really steep rise and incline over all the main lines. And it'll have track on it, but it's not really for anything but, maybe some pictures coming across and stuff like that. Very Illinois terminal inspired here. And I got this idea from Beement, Illinois, where the Illinois terminal went on this huge grade over the Wabash main line that went to Chicago. And most of that stuff's still there. The bridge, of course, the girder bridge part is gone, but you can still find some pictures of the Illinois terminal going across with about 4 or 5 cars and the SW1500 and the caboose on the rear. So something like that is what the look is for, but it'll only be for photos, not for anything operational. And I mean, that's pretty steep, so not a whole lot's going to go over that anyway. But you never know, it might look kind of neat with a caboose and a locomotive just coming light down that grade or something. So I'll be working on that at some point in the future. I had to go through and put in redo my power feed here because it was just soldered to the top of the rail. And you can see the disconnected feed wires down here in my backyard. Yeah, so for a short video, it's almost 20 minutes. Let me go over and talk about next week's video, maybe Thursday's video. So I talk about my friend Eric Ernest and his 3D products, 3D printed products quite a bit. And he sent me quite a bit of stuff over the last couple months. I've got quite a number of projects sitting over here on the workbench. I have a nickel plate prototype caboose, or prototypical caboose, with the small air vents above the window there. This one is version 1. It's a little bit too tall by maybe like a scale at 8-9 inches. But I think this is going to be Allegheny Midland. When you get it painted, I think it's going to look pretty good. Version 2 is a little bit shorter. I think it's a little bit better looking. And I'll be working on these. Also have this F40 Pennsylvania depressed center flat car that rode on dual Buckeye trucks on a bogie on each end. I'll be talking about those. I've got 3 F36 125-ton capacity flat cars. This one was complete, but I dropped it and broke the coupler off, so I got to redo the coupler pocket. But you can see how I did the wood deck. Very dark. These two will be a different, a little bit lighter shade wood deck. And then this one I had ruined it. I put these BBs in and glued them in, and it warped really bad in the middle. And somehow it's not warped anymore. So with this type of resin, you can heat them up in like just put them in hot water, and they will become a little bit flexible, and you can, put it down flat on something and put a weight on there and get it to straighten out. I'll talk about all this stuff in the next video and show you probably the first steps of like cleaning up the models and stuff. This is the new load that goes in here, and I'll go into more detail about it. But you can see some of the dimples on the bottom, and I'll show you how to clean those off. And since it's on the bottom, you don't have to go through a whole lot of trouble to clean that up. Everybody loves the DeLorean from oh my god, what's the name of that movie? Oh, why can't I think of it? I was just thinking I need to talk about this DeLorean from the movie with Doc Brown and Marty McFly and but whatever, you know what movie I'm talking about. I'll talk about it. I'll have all my stuff written down next time, and we'll talk about it. And you got some, some prime movers here. He knows I'm an Alco fan, so he put those up there. But I can tell you that he sent me some 3D sketches of M4 Sherman tanks, and he will be producing M4 Sherman tanks, which will be the perfect load for these 125-ton capacity flat cars. So other than that, I'm going to let you go here. I thank you for watching. For everybody who has donated to Elvis towards his medical bills, thank you so very much. Trainiac, I saw that you donated the other day. Thank you, my friend. I greatly appreciate you. My wife asked me, who you was. I said, you're just another YouTuber out there that's a good dude that I've talked to on occasion. We swap emails and stuff like that. And I told her, I was laughing. I said, I don't think he donated. I think maybe I guilt tripped him because I said his name before. But either way, it don't matter. Thank you very much, my friend. I greatly appreciate you. And if anybody else wants to contribute towards Elvis's medical bills, and if you're new to the channel, never watched, Elvis, he's my 145-pound Great Dane. He's 7 years old. He got bloat, and he had to have emergency surgery, or he would have died. The surgery was $6,400. It was $3,000 less than what they quoted us, and which is, that's a blessing in itself. But it was rough on me, rough on my wife. And if once again, if you're new to the channel, we rescue Great Danes and we help Great Danes a lot. So we have some recent rescues that have kind of depleted our funds a little bit. So this thing with Elvis was really unexpected, of course, and we didn't have the money for it. So that's the only reason that we're asking for donations and everything. But if you want to contribute, I will put the link down in the description. And thank you in advance. I think my wife and I are going to start a YouTube channel, Rob and Lisa's Great Dane Rescue, just to start educating people on Great Danes. And, they're not like special needs, but there are things you need to know about a Great Dane that is not typical if you have a regular dog, And speaking of regular dogs, we took a hit the other day. Our pit mix, Briscoe, who was 14 and a half years old, he's lost a lot of weight. And he lost a lot of weight. He wasn't eating. He wasn't drinking. The Lubrella shot had wore off to the point where he couldn't walk anymore. And he literally just defecated all over himself. And for a couple of days, I had to take him outside. He wouldn't even do any business when I held him up. So we made the hard decision to let him go. And it's hard. And everything. So, keep us in your prayers if you're a praying type of person, and help us out with that. Goodness, getting emotional. I'm sorry. But hey, I love all my animals. They're just like my kids. We call them fur babies for a reason. So once again, if you'd like to contribute to Elvis, thank you. When I start the new Great Dane channel, I'll let y'all know, so you can go over and subscribe to that. And thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.